quote that I've come across for years, and it just screams Scorpio Moon. And the quote is, "She is water, powerful enough to drown you, soft enough to cleanse you, and deep enough to save you." I mean, this is a Scorpio Moon woman written all over. Scorpio Moon woman, she is water. Scorpio is a fixed sign. The moon is water. So her waters run deep. Her ocean runs deep. And not a lot of people can meet her at the deep end of the ocean. She can cleanse your wounds and heal you. Although we can never really heal other people. We can only hold space to help them heal themselves. But if we're just speaking metaphorically, she can cleanse your deepest, darkest, most painful wounds, because that's the amount of healing capacity that she has. She can also drown you in the ocean with how merciless she can be and make you face the most deepest aspects of yourself, the most darkest, the most suppressed and repressed aspects of yourself, so you can awaken to who you really are. But at the same time, as she drowns you to face your fears, she will also bring you back up, hold you, and support you so lovingly and fiercely. And the thing is, her love is fierce. It's not gentle. You know, often as a Scorpio Luna, one of the things about being a Scorpio Moon is I observe absolutely everything. I observe people and how they navigate through life, how they think, how they act. I observe their consciousness, their conscious, their subconscious, their unconscious traits, all of it. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't do the same to myself, absolutely, because you cannot be an excellent observer if you have not mastered how to be an excellent self-observer. So I'm always dive into the depths of my soul. I never take any time out from that. But I also equally observe the world and this experience I'm having, and the people that I meet and the people around me and just people in general. I'm always observing because I'm fascinated by just human life and different personalities and experiences and just how we function, you know. I just love observing. I pick up on things very quickly, very easily. And I put my ego to the side with that, because sometimes, you know, you can pick up on a lot of like negative flaws in others and miss out on their beauty or their positivity because you're too focused on the darkness. But I observe everything neutrally. And one thing I've observed about other women when I look at them and just see them to be so opposite in nature from who I am, is that there's this beautiful softness in them. Not saying that there's not a softness in me. They're so Venusian, and like everything about them just seems so perfect. How they speak in such a perfect tone, so softly and gracefully. When they move, it's the same thing. When they look at you, it's the same thing. And I can't find a flaw in them. I just look at them like, wow, they're just so perfect. Like the perfect, ideal woman. And then I look at myself and I'm just such a fierce wildfire. Because when you look into my eyes, there's not a softness, there's a fire that you see. There's a fire and an ocean. And when I move so chaotically, like a lot of things fall around me. And you can say, oh my God, that's bad omen. No, like my energy is just so like fierce, so fiery. Like I'm always like, whenever I move, and I don't even know if it's just because damn, the cake's so thick, but whenever I move past something, I always knock something off. Like it's just like if there's something on the table and I move past, like something falls on the floor. Like that's how strong my energy is. I don't know how to move gently. There's just so much fire and intensity. Even when I speak, I don't know how to be soft. Like sure, sometimes I'm very soft and I'm more, you know, a little more delicate in my expression, but for the most part, like I'm so fiery and so fierce in how I communicate. When I say something, I'm saying it with all of my soul, okay? And I can sometimes be so loud and just too much. You know how it is being a Scorpio Luna. And I just feel like such a hot mess at times. And I'm like, wow. And I sometimes compare myself and I'm like, wouldn't that just be lovely if I could just be like them, just soft and graceful? I mean, of course I have those qualities, but for the most part, like my fierceness is just so present. You know, but then I look at them and I'm like, what I'm looking for and what I'm wanting that they have, they are wanting what I have, but they don't have. that's my Scorpio moon. Because it's my Scorpio moon that gives me that fire, that gives me that fierceness, that gives me that potency, the magic to access so much hidden wisdom and knowledge. It's what gives me access to have the spiritual water that can drown you, that can heal you, that can cleanse you, that can save you, that can hold you, that can nurture you, that can do it all. Like, that is the magic of the Scorpio moon. And I know that I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I know that. I'm a force of nature. I am a force of nature, where when I observe and I'm comparing myself to a delicate flower, to a force of nature. Like, that's how I see it. I'm comparing myself to like a rose petal when I'm like rosemary, you know? And if you know anything about magic, ooh, rose and rosemary, two different things. Because rosemary can heal you, but it can also hurt you. It's a very, very powerful, potent, one of my favorites actually. And also in that comparison, I compare my journey as well. Because often when you have such a softness and just, you're so delicate and just so graceful, it's because life hasn't pushed you to activate and ignite that fire within you. You haven't really gone through much. And I'm not saying that I'm the only one in the world that has gone through so much intensity and what have you. Absolutely not. There are people that have gone far worse than I have. In fact, sometimes when I reflect back at my childhood and even just like as a teenager and even in my adult cycle, I think back, although I went through so much that others may have not been able to have survived or overcome in a positive way, and probably this is more the humanitarian Aquarius energy in me, I compare myself to people who have absolutely nothing, that are living in third world countries, and I stop myself from complaining. I stop myself from being ungrateful for the privilege that I have, because my life could be completely different. I mean, there's people out there that don't even have access to clean water to drink, to bathe in. And although I've gone through a lot of difficult, challenging, emotional experiences, I still have so much available in life, so many gifts, so much magic available. And instead of like complaining or beating myself up for all the challenges that I've gone through, I look at the positive, I look at all the beauty that is around me, and I look at, I'm here living a freaking beautiful life, no matter how challenging it sometimes can get. I have much more to be grateful for, much more magic around me, where there's people that are really, really struggling and suffering. And I find myself quite a lot feeling guilty for even complaining. Even though, like, I feel like if it was someone else, like, they wouldn't even stop complaining, like, they'd be making it their whole life story, and I just keep it pushing, like, and I think that's the perseverance and the resilience that the Scorpio Moon gives me, that it's almost like, bring it on, you know, it is what it is. It's just another stepping stone to elevate. It's just another stepping stone to do that shadow work, to do that karmic work, and finally, you know, ascend, you know, go back home. That's how I'm going to coach myself out of it. But going back to the comparison thing, that's where I feel like I can't really connect or find any common ground with women. Like, whenever I find like a common ground, it's over something superficial, like something about makeup or hair or like fashion, and or even like relationships, but like the very superficial aspect of it. And that just doesn't feel genuine even. It just doesn't, because it just feels like I have to engage in those conversations to even have a little bit of something in common with those women. Because I just feel like I come from a different world. Like, I just had a very different experience. And, you know, for someone coming across me or meeting me for the first time, they would have no idea. I mean, they would think that I've never gone through the things that I've gone through, because it's my Scorpio Moon. It's a hidden aspect of me, the hidden aspect of my life that not everyone can see. You know, takes one Scorpio Moon to know another Scorpio Moon's journey. Although, of course, we have individual journeys and our Scorpio Moons are manifesting very uniquely and individually, but there's so much that is hidden that people don't even know. couldn't even fathom the things that we've gone through, whether we share them or not. Like, even if you explain what you've gone through, I don't feel like a non-Scorpio Luna or somebody who's not very dominant in Scorpio Pluto energy would even be able to fathom or understand the slightest of what we've gone through. And I hope that every Scorpio Luna, especially if like you're single right now, that you find that one that is your Hades, you know, who can support you and hold you and be right next to you through those Scorpio Moon intense life cycles, you know. And anyone who's not there right by your side, who's not there supporting you, holding you, being your armor, being your psychic shield, they're not worthy of you and all that you have to offer. And that will prove to you if they're the one or not. Their courage, their bravery, their commitment, their loyalty, them wanting to really step up and be there for you will show whether they're the one for you or not. Just think about it. Just think about Hades. Would you think he'd ever leave Persephone to fight a battle on her own? To get through an obstacle on her own? No. He's going to be there for her. He's going to be her shield. She ain't going to ask for anything. He's so psychically in tune. He understands everything she needs, wants, desires, telepathically. He just knows it. He knows her. They're one and the same. How can he not, you know? That will reveal to you if the person is the one, or just people in general, like friends or just family members. You know if they're ride or die. You know if they're there for you and they mean the best for you, and if they're genuine and they want you in their life and they want to be a part of your life for all the right reasons. Are they there through thick and thin? Are they there through it all? Or is it just for the good times? Is it just for superficial reasons? Is it just so they can have the privilege of having access to you? I want to close off by saying just to remember that you are water, and water is the most precious element, the most important element when it comes to life, when it comes to creation. I mean, water is creation. Creation is water.